What were you saying about the mercenary factor of the military, or whether it is or isn't?
Well, that was your question,
Right.
whether it was a more mercenary force or otherwise. And you asked an earlier question about the unemployment rate and the economy and whether that has any effect on recruiting and retention, which obviously it does, but we have to remember that it's largely a class issue when we talk about who joins the military. If you have the opportunity to get a scholarship, or if your parents have a lot of money that they can fund your college education, or if you're a legacy admission into college, it's certainly different from those people who feel that there's no other place for them.
Right.
And particularly for gay young Americans who, a lot of gay Americans come out during college.
Mm-hmm.
For those people who join the military and were running away from their own family background that might trap them into a homophobic environment, they have nowhere else to go, so they come to the Army, and when they're in the Army, they realize, okay, well now I'd like to come out, I'm coming to being and to truth about my identity, and they're simply not allowed to, and then they get thrown out under don't tell. It's all connected here through class issue. What you're seeing is that some people have the privilege of being able to have a college education in a liberal environment where it's very accepting and it's very warm and friendly and not homophobic, and others just have nowhere else to go. Both of those, when we talk about war and we talk about discrimination against gay people, have disastrous effects, and I think you can see it in suicide. When you talk about coming back and having PTSD or survivor guilt, depression, the Army suicide rate is proportionally higher than society's, and it's reached historic highs.
Yeah, you said even higher than Vietnam's on a per capita.
Yes, historically, proportionally, it is way too high, but it's also in comparison to other times in the military. I think a lot of that has to do with lack of resources for mental health and behavioral health professionals. People that have post-traumatic stress, they need those resources, but they don't have them.
Right.
It also has implications about our culture in the military. As it is a volunteer force, most people are just told to suck it up, drive on, take a knee, face out, and drink water.
Yeah.
And man up, as you would say.
Yeah.
Saying, okay, well, you signed up for this. So
yeah, you knew the risk. You knew the.
So there's a lot of factors that we're having a high suicide rate in the military. The bottom line is, if you don't have the resources, whether it's a volunteer force or a conscription force, you're not resourcing the military well, combat operations well, or the soldiers and veterans when they return home well.
Do you think some of this suicide rate and things like that may also have to do with people who are signing up in order to go to college, which is one of their main advertising points, which, in other words, these are people that want to have like an intellectual lifestyle, and yet to do it, they're going into the military, which is in a lot of ways anti-intellectual?
I was an officer, so of course
that is a little different, yeah.
You do need to have at least a bachelor's degree or an associate's degree with hopes of completing your bachelor's by the time you're the third rank of officers.
Right.
Education is very important once you're in the military, and it is an avenue. It is the only scholarship, the fully funded scholarship.
Right. It's one of the most generous.
And so that's what really shows some of the discrepancies to gay people. That the only federal program for funded education, fully funded education, is not available to them if they're honest about who they are. So it's not only intellectually preposterous. It's morally irresponsible to say that if you're not truthful about who you are, then you're not allowed to continue your education this
right,
way.
right. And yet, honesty is supposed to be one of the major things of being in the military. It's
Not only in the military, but in academia and all facets
Yep.
of society.
Very
So
true.
the military cannot say that they have such a unique culture that they're immune to the moral implications of their actions or the policies that Congress enforces on them. And that's the debate that you're hearing right now, is that because the military is so different, the culture is so unique, the responsibilities are so fascinatingly